Hi everybody, welcome to our webinar. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting thing, which is the Venture Lab activities that we have here at MBSC. And it won't be just me talking. We're going to have the amazing Daria from
Russia.
Awesome. And Hiba.
Hiba's in Saudi Arabia.
From Saudi Arabia. And actually what we're going to elaborate more is how having the Venture Lab at MBSC is actually enriching the experience that the students are having over here when it comes to their own startups, their own ideas, and how do they develop it alongside with their own academic requirements and the other subjects that they're taking over here. So Venture Lab in general is basically the program that provides all of the services that supports entrepreneurs here, starting from mentorship and providing legal advices, providing workshops as well, that could enrich different parts of their journey, such as, marketing and probably even getting some relationships and networking and so many other topics that we can tap into that. Plus building relationships with other entities that probably will be able to support the startups, and bringing a lot of guest speakers from all around the world, entrepreneurs that could tell their stories, and also a lot of companies that will share their success and their failures sometimes as well. It's just to kick off this, and having an amazing, two entrepreneurs and two students over here. What we will start, I think, with is, if you want to tell us if you've done any companies before, joining MBSC, and why did you actually join? And then we'll know a little bit more about the rest of the stuff. So, do you want to start, Daria?
Always pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would be glad to share my experience. Actually, I've started the business 3 times, and most of them were in my own country. And this is the challenge for me, to come here to the country when everything developing so rapidly and start to do something interesting, new, and the goal for me is something influential for the society in the good sense.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, having 3 companies before and establishing that, and you're still going into the 4th one over here in Saudi Arabia, isn't it? I mean, and that's a great thing. And as you said, it's amazing times, and we always tell everyone who's coming from outside Saudi, it's probably the best times ever, to come over here with all of the opportunities that we're having.
I can't imagine any country now where you have so many opportunities, so many funds, and the readiness and the ecosystem that is growing, so you can be part of it. This is the most valuable thing for me.
Lovely, and you could be here with us after that, so we'll see about this. So Hiba, you want to tell us a little bit also about you and about what you've done before joining MBSC, and moving forward. I'll ask you the second question once you answer that one.
Well, I have a company called Beatty Express. It's basically homemade ready meals. It's a 6-year-old company now, and of course, as any startup or entrepreneur, we have been through many challenges. Being here in the Venture Lab and in MBSC, it helped us a lot in how to restructure the whole company and redo it all over again.
I think the questions that I'll follow up with that is basically, so when you come with your own company, right, you've already started operations, you've already done things in the market, and then joining a program. I think if you want to tell us a little bit, how your experience in the Venture Lab have, let's say, changed or impact, the journey for that company, I think that would be interesting to see, how this is going.
Well, the Venture Lab, it helped us a lot in from the legal side, from the financial side, and having the access to all the professors with their knowledge, and interacting with the rest of the students, and the collaboration we have, exchanging our experiences. This is the most benefits we got through.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we probably didn't mention earlier is we've started also arranging the investors, panels, and that was one of the experiences that we thought maybe the students, even if they're not ready to raise any funding, it's good to be exposed to, investors and VCs and see how they think, are they willing to invest in ideas? What do they expect, and at what stage do they come? And then there's the investments for Saudis and non-Saudis and all of these issues, which appears to be becoming, something not much of an issue today, where people are willing to bring, other types of startups, to Saudi Arabia to create more momentum and more competitiveness in the market. So I think I'll take it back to you, and because Daria have had experience as well, previously in starting companies, but then you started a new idea. And you've had such an interesting journey, since you have started in the course, And I want you to tell us a little bit, how the experience worked out with you, within the whole, experience of Venture Lab in general, and the changes that you've gone through. How did that work out?
Thank you very much for the Venture Lab in general. I think this is a tremendous experience in terms of getting everything and everybody in one place. The investors meeting that you mentioned, it was an experience you couldn't get anywhere. And in the beginning we thought it's not really relevant to see all of them, because we are not there yet to present, to pitch our ideas, to ask for something, and money as well. But now I realize that this actually gave all of us more or less sense about the expectations. Because if you're coming abroad, you have your own picture in mind. When you're meeting here, people, investors, and discussing their requests, sometimes they are the same, sometimes they are so different, so you couldn't expect.
That's true.
Venture Lab for me now, this is the place where I can, it's not exactly the place, this is the atmosphere, and for me it is a pass. Sometimes you are going outside and saying, I'm part of MBSC Venture Lab, and you can use it. On the other hand, you actually have to do a lot of effort by yourself in order to get this permission to be supported by the school. So I would say that it's not about the name only. It's about how much effort do you put, how many people helping you on the way, and whether you're actually achieving what you wish.
You're absolutely right, because I think one of the main parts or the main goals of having the Venture Lab in general is impacting that entrepreneurial mindset. And the only way you can get that done is by going through these experiences, is by experimenting different things. And we always say we're not expecting success all the way. That's not the point, But we're going to help, after the failure, how do we get up, and how do we continue? And I think a very huge part of it is our relationship with each other, and the access to your colleagues and your peers and all of that. And I think this is where it feels more like a family atmosphere, or a family environment, where you see everyone is trying to help each other, right? And that's what you want to create within a cohort, We don't expect everyone to gel in right away. But the fact that you have, access, is a good thing to have. You're not alone in that journey. And here's where I'm going to bounce it to you, Hiba, because you've met someone in MBSC who's actually, with you today. And I want to have this, how did that go? We always have these questions from entrepreneurs. It's hard to build a team. I don't know where to find my team. And we still have these issues. I wouldn't say that they will be solved 100%. But Hiba, I think, was lucky, in that sense. So do you want to tell us, how did that work?
Bassem is currently joined our team, and it was by coincidence. At the same time, there was an opportunity. We got to know each other, and as a part of the program, we get to go through personal assessments, and we see our different styles, how we work together, and the different management styles. And that's how we got together, actually. We found out that we can complete each other in the program, in the business. And I found out that some of the things that I was weak, and it was his strength. And we were able to make it happen again. And and we're looking forward now to grow it again, and
diversify.
Diversify and scale this business.
And my story is different.
It's always different, isn't it? And that's the beauty. We don't want to have everyone to be the same. So now you tell us about the other, experience.
This is an experience you can't imagine.
Yeah.
You worked with somebody for a certain amount of years, and you more or less understand each other, and you jumped in the idea. You actually, I'm telling you the real story. Some of you know about this, some will not. But you're studying together. You went through all the way of successes and failures. You understand each other even with the eye. But at certain point, you understand that, okay, this is the point where you don't agree with each other and don't share the same vision any longer. And this is something that I didn't expect I would have.
Yeah.
And Venture Lab and people over here, it's not about like practical skills only.
Yes.
It's about
Yes.
support. It's about being able to see yourself from the different angle.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And it's about being able to manage the situation when you went through the long way and you have to split with your dearest partner.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in the manner that actually you have to create, because you haven't think about it.
Yeah.
And this is something
And you
that
can't plan that.
you can't plan that,
You
you
can't
can't,
think
and
that.
so many feelings involved. But you have the tools, you have the path, you have more or less the vision where you're going, and because you became more confident in what you're doing.
Sure.
And you have a support, you have like support group, you have support tools, you're actually going forward by yourself, not lonely, but you decided this way.
Yeah.
And this is like tremendous
I can
experience. And I'm saying that because it so touches me.
Yeah. And actually, during our classes, when we're sharing our experiences,
Yeah.
our stories with our previous businesses, so we get to relate to each other, and we get to relate to our experiences. We learn from one another, and I think that's where how me and Bassem, especially, we got into the same business. He had a previous business
Yes.
that is similar to
Yeah.
Beatty Express, and he has been through his own challenges, and bringing my own experiences and his experiences, we were able to face the challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is the whole point. You know, the program have its own structure and it has its own services, and there's a goal of why this is created. But at the end of the day, I think it's the people, you know, that are part of it are the ones that make all the difference. And what it does, I mean, the whole point of creating venture labs and entrepreneurship centers in general, that it opens doors.
Yeah.
And it puts sometimes even, it poses challenges, you know, for the startups and the entrepreneurs. And how are you going to overcome that? You know, if I don't overcome it today when I'm still, you know, in that safe zone, what am I going to do tomorrow when I get out there, right? And I think trying to simulate the real experiences is one of the points. That's why we say we want to meet real VCs. That's why we say we want to bring real entrepreneurs who have gone through issues, who have failed, who have succeeded. Like today we had this amazing entrepreneur, you know, inside the class who actually enriched us, for example, you know, with so many things. And that's the beauty of having the right network around you, where people are willing to share, right? And we hope that, you know, next year when we have the next cohort over here, you will be the examples, and we will invite you, you know, in the classes so you can share your experiences as well. And you look back at all of that and say,
We want to come back.
that's the day. We wish we're sitting, you know, in your seats today.
Yeah.
I think it's really amazing, you know, what you're both doing. And we do feel all the time, and I tell you that, you are being in the classroom, you're doing all of these classes, trying to get your MBAs, and at the same time you're trying to fulfill your dream of having your own company, you know, and working on that. And that's such a massive thing. And it does not go without your power and your passion to actually continue and fulfill all of this. And this is such a small part of what you can go through, you know, and some of the stories that you can go through in the Venture Lab. And we want to have your stories as well with us over here. We want you to share what these amazing two ladies over here, you know, and the journey that they have gone through. As we said, Venture Lab is not just, you know, to provide the network, the funding, you know, and the VCs, and only that. It just provides the whole experience that will change so many things, you know, for you. To actually, you know, wrap up this, and hopefully we'll have other, you know, sessions to talk more about that. So give us one last word. How would you advise anyone joining us over here, you know, and what can they get out of Venture Lab? I'm sure you have some tweaks and tricks, now in getting what you want, right? So give us
Well,
one.
for me, I am an action-oriented person. I'm a practical person. So theories and lectures is not really my thing, but learning by practice, applying the theories that we're getting, applying it to our businesses, and that's the best way for me to learn, and not only learning and actually getting the real life experience through the venture lab.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Dario.
I would say even though the program is structured perfectly for the startup, even though if you don't have any experience, when you're at Venture Lab, when you're doing your own business, even though you have everything that we've discussed before, don't wait for somebody to come and provide it to you. Go and ask. Go and ask. Try. Go and ask. Not fail, but try again and again, and always ask. Don't think that people around and atmosphere know what you are doing and know what you're struggling with. Just go, ask, share, ask for feedback, be honest, and utilize all the capacity that Venture Lab has and you have in your mind.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you.
So we'll invite everyone to hopefully be exposed to all of that. It's not just the funding, not just the mentorship, not just the space, or any of these stuff. It's much more than that. And I think that family feeling that we've got over here is what we'll always remember, and the support that we get from each other. Thank you so much for listening to us, and hopefully we'll see most of you over here. Thank you.
We will be waiting for you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.